Good morning children, welcome to online biology class and myself Lavanya, and today I am going to be discuss about the types of microorganisms. Yes, in the last class we already discussed about the microorganisms. The microorganisms we cannot see with our naked eyes. We need to be see with the help of microscope only. Yes, and in the last session we already discussed some activities and type of the microorganisms also we discussed, and some diseases also we discussed, and some where the microorganism will be present, that and all we discussed in the last session. And what we discussed in the last session, the bacteria is going to be causes the bacterial infection, causes the typhoid and tuberculosis, and these bacteria may found in everywhere we discussed. And next algae is found in water, and the algae will cause the algal infection. When we are going to be drink that water, it may causes the cholera, diarrhea, vomitings, motions, that and all also we discussed. And after the algae, protozoa. Protozoa is going to be caused, what it will be causes? Protozoal infections. That protozoal infection, the best example is malaria. Malaria is a fever. And dysentery. Dysentery is nothing but they are having intestinal tract is getting some wounds inside the intestine. Wounds will be formed. That wounds are going to be release the blood. Why? Because the food is not digested properly. At that time, the feces will be releases with the blood clots. That is about the protozoal infection. And next, the fungus we discussed. The fungus is mostly it may forms on food, plant, and human beings. When you are releasing more sweat, the clothes are very tightened. At that time, where the tightened position in your body, at that place the fungus will be formed and causes the irritation and pain, and causes wounds also. That we discussed in the last fungal infection. And also we discussed about the viruses. Viruses will cause the cold, cough, and influenza. And the mostly nowadays the running word is coronavirus. That also may causes due to the viruses only. Yes, if that for that viruses, what the needs for the host wanted. If the host is there, host is nothing but we are giving the food for them. We are giving the space for them to be in our body. They are using ourselves to develop their body. Yes, that is about the viruses. And today's class we are going to be discussed the bacteria. What does the bacteria and how many types of bacteria are there and where it may be found, we are going to be see in this session. And some shapes will be there in the bacteria, and also we are going to be discussed in this session. Yes. First, how many types of microorganisms are there? 5 types. First one is bacteria. And the second one is algae. And the third one is protozoa. And the fourth one is fungus. And the fifth one is viruses. Yes, these and all we already discussed in the last class. And today we are going to be see the bacteria. Bacteria is going to be present on soil, mud, water, food, and clothes, air, rocks. Yes, it is going to be present in everywhere. The bacteria is going to be present in everywhere, and it may causes bacterial infection. Bacteria microorganisms is going to be cause bacterial infection. Yes, this bacterial infection is going to be causes which diseases? We already discussed, children. Typhoid, tuberculosis. Etc. We already discussed about that. And these bacteria is going to perform some good as a friend. Here it will be bacteria and here the bacteria is going to be act as a friend. Act as a friend for us. How? It is going to perform the fermentation process. Is going to be added in a fermentation process, and it may cause us curd, idli batter, and dosa batter. Like that, the bacteria is going to be helpful for us. That's why the bacteria is good for us. It will be act as a friend for us. But here it will be act as an enemy. That's why I told to you in the last session itself, microorganisms are somewhat good and somewhat enemies for us. Yes. And next, I am going to be discussed about some types of bacteria. 5 types of bacteria are there. What are they? The first one, based on the shapes, the bacteria is divided into 5 types. That 5 types we are going to be see. First one is spherical shaped bacteria. You may call it as a cocci. Spherical shaped bacteria, we may call it as a cocci. How this spherical shaped will be in a round structure. Okay, it will be a round structure. And second one is rod shaped. Rod shaped bacteria, we may call it as a bacillus. We may call it as a bacillus. Here name itself is a rod shaped. Yes. For these bacillus, best example is lactobacillus. Okay now. This is the structure of lactobacillus. These lactobacillus will be present in the preservative curd. That's why your mothers will add previous days curd to normal milk, no, to turn the curd. Yes, due to the presence of lactobacillus only. Yes. And next, then the third type is comma-shaped bacteria. That comma-shaped bacteria we may call it as a vibrilla. We call it as a vibrilla also. Okay now, how the shape will be? Sting will be present. What we may call as this sting, we may call it as a flagella. This flagella is helpful for movement, to move from one place to another place. Okay now, for movement it will be helpful, that is vibrilla. And next, the fourth will be spirilla. Spirilla is nothing but the organism, not only one, more than 2. Here for the vibrilla only one will be present. Here more than 2. More than 2 strings will be present. It is called as spirilla. And the fifth one is chrome. Fifth one is chrome. This chrome is nothing but a strings. Will be like a strings only. The strings only will be presented there. And will be called as a cork. It will be called as a cork screw also. Okay, children. It will be called as a cork screw. Yes, cork screw, like a floating, like a strings That is, these are the different shapes of the bacteria, and there are the 5 types based on the shapes. Based on the shapes of the bacteria only, we divided into 5 types. First one is spherical. That the shape we may call it as a cocci. Yes. And the second one is rod shaped. Rod shaped bacteria we may call it as a bacillus. And the bacillus best example is lactobacillus. This lactobacillus is going to be performed in the best time of fermentation process is going to be performed. And the third one is comma shaped bacteria. That we may call it as a vibrilla. And to the organism, one string will be present. That string is nothing but flagella. That flagella is helpful for the moving the organism from one place to another place. For that, the organism is needed, and spirella. Spirella organism is having more than 2 flagellas at one spot, and this also is helpful for movement only. Okay. And next, corkscrew. These corkscrew organisms are having it, strings only will be floated. For them, not any shape, only strings like a thread structure. The strings will be present. Yes, this is about the types of bacteria, children, and in the next classes we are going to be seeing more about the lactobacillus bacteria only. Yes, when we are going to be see these bacteria under the microscope, there are again 2 types of bacteria are there. What are they? Positive bacteria negative bacteria. Yes, positive bacteria and negative bacteria. Why the difference between 2 bacteria? Based on the color appearance, based on the cell wall of the bacteria. Normally, any organism, the cell wall will be present. The cell wall is having to take some cells inside only. Based on the rigidness of the cell, based on the components present on the cell, it is going to be divided. The color is going to be divided into 2. Positive bacteria, negative bacteria. That will be look in a pink color and blue color. Yes, pink will be positive, blue will be negative bacteria. Yes, that is the based on the color the bacteria will be different, and based on the shape 5 types of bacteria are there that we discussed. And these bacteria is also helpful for the fermentation process, for the preparation of dosa batter, idli batter, and the cake, etc. And next, for the curd, turning the milk into curd, that is also helpful. And these bacteria is going to be act as an enemy also, when it may causes the bacterial infection, causes the diseases. Yes, and these bacteria you may found it everywhere. The soil, in the rocks, on the mud, on the dust, that and all we discussed in this session. And tomorrow's session we are going to be see the second type of microorganism, that is the algae. And algae, protozoa. And tomorrow's session we are going to be see children. And today's session, in the last class I told you that the 2 activities, mud activity, mud water, and pond water. Yes, but you people should do one activity by yourself in home itself. Collect nowadays the rain, we are having the rain, rainy season this season. Just collected some upside from your top of your floor. The water, rainwater will be fall with the help of some mud, rocks, everything. Collect that water in a beaker or else in a glass bottle. You should collect it in a bottle. Normal water bottle you should be collected it, and don't keep the cap. Why? Because when you remove that cap you may get that the smell is not good for you. Don't keep the cap. Just fill the bottle, half the bottle or 3/4 bottle you should fill the water and kept it aside for 5 to 6 hours. Just see what the differences you may be observed. And if the children you will be did this the next online class time, I am trying to be ask you. If anyone will be did, just show it to me, or else you just showed and throw it away. Okay, that is no problem for you. Just for your understanding purpose, I am telling to you. The water will be settled properly. Yes, that is about today's session, children, about the microorganisms and types of bacteria we discussed, and tomorrow's session will be continued with the protozoa. Thank you, children.